Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, May 13th, 2020. Today I'm going to talk about the latest with the coronavirus in sports. It's a lot, so a majority of the show is going to be about that. KBO scores from yesterday and looking ahead to tonight's games. My first MLB mock draft of the year, with the draft being 4 weeks from today, virtual style, a la the NFL draft. And I'm going to close the show by previewing tonight's episode of The Masked Singer. All right, coronavirus latest. College football, I think, has made the most news since I last recorded. The Pac-12, I think, is in a little bit of trouble. Gavin Newsom put Los Angeles County in California perhaps on lockdown for another 3 months. That affects a lot of the college football schools, obviously UCLA, USC, Cal, and some of the lower schools as well, such as Fresno State and whatnot. So this is obviously a huge, huge deal. Maybe things will change. And Colin Cowherd reported that USC Alabama, quote unquote, ain't happening, according to two people he knows. He said it's not a done deal yet. But my issue with trusting Colin Cowherd for sports news is all fool's gold. This guy also said that Kevin Durant to the New York Knicks in 2019 summer was a done deal. And sure enough, he went to Brooklyn. So he was dead wrong about that. He's been wrong about a lot of things before. So I'm not buying the Colin Cowherd report. And he also said that Alabama is already looking around for new opponents. That part of it may be true, but the it ain't happening part, I don't really know. This is such a big unknown, in my opinion, because the Pac-12, in light of this news, made a statement pretty much denying the reports. John Rothstein tweeted it, the statement from the Pac-12, saying that the Pac-12 and our member universities will make our own determinations on when our student athletes can return to play and when and how campuses will reopen to students. These decisions will be based first and foremost on the health and well-being of all those connected to the Pac-12 and informed by the advice of public health and medical experts along with the state and local governmental orders. Every day we are learning new and important information that will inform our decisions, and we believe that there is a great benefit to having as much relevant data as possible before making such decisions. So the Pac-12 flat out denied that report about sports and their fall sports in schools not opening. So they are being open-minded. And ironically, a few weeks ago, the Pac-12 commissioner came out and said that he expected schools to reopen for the fall and for the fall sports to happen. So a little bit has changed with this Gavin Newsom lockdown and LA being locked up for 3 more months. And that obviously affects the Lakers and Clippers as well. But the Lakers want to come back and the Clippers want to come back. And it looks like the NBA is coming back, which is huge news, which I'm going to get to next. Is that LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, Damian Lillard, and a bunch of stars have gotten together and want the season to come back, as they should, because all these guys rather be playing than sitting home not making a lot of money, even though they are still getting paid. And a lot of these superstars are on teams that are contending for championships. And that's a little bit of a brief in Portland, because Damian Lillard wants to come back, but CJ McCollum is anti-coming back. That's a little strange. So Shams reported last night NBA Commissioner Adam Silver told Board of Governors that he is aiming for a 2 to 4 week timetable on the decision about whether to resume the season. That's huge news, because Bill Simmons and Ryan Russillo on the Bill Simmons podcast on Sunday night, Simmons was calling the NBA out a little bit and said that they're running out of time. Maybe Bill Simmons was onto something and the NBA responded. So that's promising news for the NBA. And then, obviously, it's for the first time since the stoppage that Silver provided a specific timeline. So that is really good news for the NBA, and it looks like that the season is more likely to come back than not. I'm going to put it at 90% chance that the season comes back, and the fact that LeBron James wants to come back says it all, because LeBron James really, I think, has secret say in the league a little bit, because he is the absolute biggest star in the league. It's still really not close. Although Zion and Luka, Giannis, Kawhi, Steph Curry are all like in that second group of stars, and then obviously there's more second tier stars. Not second tier, but like levels of superstardom in terms of popularity, I mean. Not due to their performance on the court. It's more about who has a strong voice. In my opinion, LeBron James probably has the biggest voice of anybody in sports, even more so than Tom Brady. And the fact that he wants to come back, LeBron says, that makes me feel very good about the NBA. Major League Baseball is in an interesting spot. It came out with the new rules and whatnot for the shortened season, and the universal DH is expected to pass, which I think is good. So that means the National League can finally get a DH, and hopefully that is the case going forward. And John Heyman reported that is expected to be approved by the players, as it should. So that is good news. In terms of hockey, the NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman says he's not even contemplating idea of canceling the season. So Gary Bettman obviously wants to come back. He's been like the most optimistic, other than Roger Goodell, about coming back in terms of sports. So I do think the NHL will be back. I don't know if it'll be back at the same time as the NBA, but I think those two leagues have to work together, because you know that they're not going to be in the same quarantine spot unless if hockey goes to their home arenas. But if hockey goes to their home arenas, that affects the NBA Vegas plans, because wouldn't NBA go to the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas? Or would they go to UNLV's arena where they have the Summer League? So the NBA is under a little bit of pressure whether to choose Vegas or Disney World. I think Disney's much safer, preferably because it's like a community per se. It has a ton of hotels. So if I'm the NBA, I'd go to Disney World and then also use the Orlando Magic's arena as well for some games, as well as the Summer League court that they used to use down there in Orlando. We talked about Los Angeles and California, and the California, the UC schools possibly not reopening. And in terms of the NFL, there's going to be some teams that obviously stay-at-home orders that are still going to be in play for when training camp comes back, such as New Jersey, where the Giants have their spring training facilities, or not spring training, their practice facility, and they're looking already at different options just in case for precautionary reasons. So I really don't blame them. And then the Jets are in Long Island, where cases really aren't that big of a deal there, which is surprising, in my opinion, that Long Island doesn't have that many cases, because obviously it's Long Island's a long obviously it's a long island. It's called Long Island for a reason, and it's very big. So it's surprising that the cases aren't high there. So it looks like the Jets could go to their normal facilities. Meanwhile, the Giants came out and said that they expect fans to be in the seats for opening day. I really think that that's coming from Goodell, not necessarily from John Mara, although I do think that John Mara and Steve Tisch are in Goodell's little clique in terms of owners he's friends with, along with Jerry Jones. Well, not really Robert Kraft anymore, but who knows now with Tom Brady not in Tampa. We'll see. I really don't know if Goodell and Kraft made up after Deflategate or not, but obviously Kraft was in that circle, and Kraft was also in Trump's circle when he had Goodell and Jerry Jones and Kraft to meet about sports reopening. Mark Cuban, Adam Silver, Gary Bettman, Rob Manfred. So a couple of those sports owners were there, including Kraft. So who knows, maybe Kraft and Goodell made up. But yeah, there's a couple owners that are very close with Goodell. Art Rooney from the Steelers is another one that's in that Goodell circle, who's also very close with John Mara of the Giants. So that's good that the Giants expect to have fans, but they're obviously being cautious at the same time because they're looking at different sites for their training camp. Well, obviously training camp is earlier than the season, and that normally gets underway in July. Now we're going to talk about the KBO, go over the scores from yesterday, and look ahead to tomorrow's slate of games. Samsung defeated Kaiwoom 5-0. Kia defeated Hanwha 4-3. Lotte defeated Doosan 10-9. NC defeated KT 5-4, and LG defeated SK 14-2. So 3 overs cashed in. A couple dogs went outright, including Lotte, who's now 6-1 on the season, as well as NC. Kaiwoom's 6-2. Doosan's 4-3. LG's 4-3. Kia's 4-4. Samsung's 3-5. Hanwha's 2-6. SK and KT are each 1-6. And now let's look ahead to tomorrow's slate of games via DraftKings and the odds. Kia at Hanwha. Kia is a -129 road favorite. Hanwha's +102 underdogs. Kia 4-4, Hanwha 2-6. Over under 9. Over -122. Under -104. Kia on the run line -1.5 is +130, and Hanwha on the run line is +1.5 at -165. Best play here. This is tough. I guess I'll go with the over because overs have been very popular in this league lately, and offenses are starting to heat up. So I am going to take the over on the Kia Hanwha game, although that was a 4-3 game yesterday, so there is some value there with the under. So you know what? I am going to go with the under. I lied. I'm going to go with the under at -104. I think that has more value to it than +102 for Hanwha. Although I could be wrong. I thought about taking Hanwha, but I'm going to go under 9 because under feels like a trend there with those two teams. Samsung and Kaiwoom. Samsung is a +155 underdog on the road. Kaiwoom's -200 home favorites. Over under 8.5. -112 on the over, -114 on the under, so about even there. +1.5 for Samsung on the run line is -125, and -1.5 on the run line for Kaiwoom is even money. Kaiwoom is obviously 6-2. Samsung is 3-5. I like the even money on the run line for Kaiwoom. I don't feel strongly about it, but it's a play that I like personally. SK and LG. SK is 1-6. LG is 4-3. LG is -200 on the money line. SK is +155. Over under 10. Over -107. Under -118. SK on the run line is +1.5 at -125. LG -105 on the -103 with the -1.5 on the run line. These two teams scored a combined 16 runs. So I'm going to continue the trend. I'm going to take the over 10 at -107. That feels very, very valuable to me right there. Then you have Doosan and Lotte. Doosan's -165. Lotte is +130. I don't understand the disrespect Lotte keeps getting. They are 6-1. I am taking them again on the money line. They did me good yesterday. I'm going to do it again. +130 for Lotte. The over's 10.5 at -121. The under is -105. Bears are -1.5 on the run line at -104. Lotte +1.5 124. I am taking Latte on the money line at plus 130 to win outright. They're my favorite dog on the board. I don't get the why Latte keeps being undervalued. They're 6-1 and tied with NC for the best record so far. And NC is minus 200 at home against KT, who is plus 155 at 1-6, the opposite record of NC. NC's plus 100 on the run line at minus 1.5, and then KT's plus 1.5 at minus 125 on the run line, over under 10. The over is minus 114, the under is minus 112. I like NC on the run line. This is a mismatch with KT. So give me NC on the run line. So the picks for KBO tomorrow morning, Kia Hanwha under 9 at minus 104. Kaiwoom minus 1.5 on the run line at even money. SKLG over 10 at minus 107. The Latte Giants plus 130 on the money line. And the NC Dinos at even money, minus 1.5 on the run line. And now I'm going to do my first MLB mock draft of the season. I'm going to be doing this for the next couple weeks. Probably going to do one next Wednesday, and then the following Wednesday, and then the Wednesday after that, and then we'll probably do one the Friday before the draft, the Monday, Tuesday, and then the day of the draft, which is June 10th, which is 4 weeks from today, which is incredible. And obviously it's going to be a virtual draft, just like how the NFL did it, right on the MLB network. And if there's more details involving the MLB draft, whether they move it to a bigger network so it can get better ratings or whatnot, I think this is going to be the highest rated MLB draft ever, just like the WNBA had its highest rating draft ever as well. So without further ado, here we go. My first of my 2020 MLB draft. So it's my first ever 2020 MLB draft, but not my first ever MLB draft that I've ever done, or in terms of mocks. All right, number 1, the Detroit Tigers go with Spencer Torkelson, first baseman, left fielder, Arizona State. It seems like Torkelson is the overwhelming favorite to go first overall. Torkelson was one of the most feared hitters in all of college baseball throughout the last 3 seasons. There's a chance that he also blows through the minors and is in the bigs sooner than people expect. 2, Baltimore Orioles. Austin Martin, third baseman, center fielder, Vanderbilt. The Orioles have a tough decision here, as they can go with Martin or the best pitcher in the draft with Asa Lacy. They go with Martin, who dazzles with a hit tool that is easily a plus, and he utilizes his swing with a natural loft and has double plus bat speed. 3, to Miami Marlins. Asa Lacy, lefty, Texas A&M. The Marlins are happy with whomever falls to them, whether it's Lacy or Austin Martin. Lacy is someone that is equipped with a 4-pitch mix, 2 of which have grades with plus or better with his fastball and slider, with his changeup seemingly on the rise. 4, Kansas City Royals. Nick Gonzalez, second baseman, New Mexico State. Gonzalez is one of the more interesting prospects as we head closer to the draft. Folks are skeptical of him due to putting up great numbers against lesser competition. Some think Gonzalez won't be able to stick at second base long term, but I see his makeup and worth ethic being able to keep the elite tool he carries at the Keystone. 5, Toronto Blue Jays. Emerson Hancock, righty, Georgia. There's a case to be made that Hancock is the best pitcher in the draft, but he probably is the safest bet in terms of pure starting pitchers. Hancock presents the same 4-pitch mix as Asa Lacy, with his fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup, with less electricity but more command and polish. 6, Seattle Mariners. Garrett Mitchell, center fielder, UCLA. The Mariners can go in a number of directions here. Mitchell is a game changer with truly elite speed and is capable of making a legitimate impact on the bases while also being a plus defender in center field. 7, Pittsburgh Pirates. Zach Veen, outfielder, Spruce Creek High School, Florida. The Pirates can go in a number of directions here depending on how the board falls. Here I have them taking perhaps the best high school prospect in the draft in Veen, who has tremendous upside. His vision at the plate looks advanced well beyond his age and allows his violent swing to barrel up balls with ease, leading to hit tool grading at average while projecting better at peak. 8. San Diego Padres. Max Meyer, lefty, Minnesota. The Padres are a bit of a wild card here with the 8th pick. Here I have them playing it safe and going with the college pitcher in Meyer. He is a former closer who only started 15 games while at Minnesota and presents a certain reliever risk due to size and durability concerns, but the question marks are overshadowed by the explosive arsenal Meyer brings to the table. 9. Colorado Rockies. Reed Detmers, lefty, Louisville. The Rockies have to be thrilled with Detmers falling to them at this spot. The curveball is unspeakably good when it's on, and that is a lot, and pretty much all the time. He pounds the strike zone great and is awesome at getting swings and misses. He'd instantly become the best pitcher in the Colorado Rockies system. 10. Los Angeles Angels. Patrick Bailey, catcher, NC State. The Angels can go in a number of directions here with their selection. Here I have them addressing a long-term need at catcher, taking the best catcher in the draft with Bailey. He's a switch-hitting backstop with solid tools in front, and Bailey brings a special combination of the two. 11. The Chicago White Sox. Austin Hendrick, outfield, West Allegheny High School, Pennsylvania. The White Sox are another team that is a wild card, and their choice is dependent on how the board breaks. Hendrick is a free swinger who gets full extension when he sees a ball when he wants to, and leads to some swing and miss concerns, but he does have a good hand placement on the bat. 12. Cincinnati Reds. Micah Bell, righty, Jesuit High School, Oregon. The first top prospect who was hurt by the 2020 season being shortened is off the board here to the Reds. Abel has a great two-pitch combination with his fastball and slider, which would add to a stronger pitching side of the Reds farm system that includes Nick Lodolo and Hunter Green. 13. San Francisco Giants. Heston Kjerstad, outfielder, Arkansas. The Giants can go in a number of directions here. Kjerstad is someone that has a unique, complex left-handed swing that he brings to the table with double-plus raw power, who many compare to Philadelphia's Rhys Hoskins. 14. Texas Rangers. Jarrett Kelly, righty, Refugio High School, Texas. The Rangers would gladly scoop up the in-state kid here at 14. He's hard-throwing and has solid command as well as his plus changeup that sits at 82 to 84 miles per hour to keep hitters uncomfortable at the plate. 15. Philadelphia Phillies. Robert Hassel III, outfielder, Independence High School in Tennessee. The Phillies have options here at this selection, and here I have them taking a talented outfielder falling to them. Hassel may present the best hit tool from any prep player in this year's class, including the guys that are chosen ahead of him in this mock. He brings it with a compact left-handed swing plus bat control, allowing him to control the strike zone better than most players his age. 16. The Chicago Cubs. Garrett Crochet, lefty, Tennessee. This would be a win for the Cubbies as a very good college arm falls to them here at this spot. Inconsistency and an early season injury is what probably cost him from going higher than this, but with a plus slider and a developing changeup, the Tennessee product has some of the best raw stuff in this class. 17. The Boston Red Sox. Cade Cavalli, righty, Oklahoma. The Sox are another team that benefit as another solid college arm falls to them here at 17. This could be a risky pick, though, due to flaws he has and injury issues. What makes him intriguing is his ability to strike guys out and his great fastball and devastating slider. 18. Arizona Diamondbacks. Ed Howard, shortstop, Mount Carmel High School, Illinois. The irony of this projected selection is that the Diamondbacks selected Howard's former teammate Alec Thomas 2 years ago. Howard's ability to make all the players necessary to stick at shortstop stands out and can seem to cover ground effortlessly without having a plus speed tool. 19. New York Mets. Nick Petisco, righty, Central Bucks East High School, Pennsylvania. Many mocks have the Mets selecting a catcher, where they have a surplus in their system. Here I have them taking a high school arm in Batisco, who is 17 years old, and he's just as advanced as any prep arm in this department. 20, Milwaukee Brewers. Tyler Soderstrom, catcher outfielder, Turlock High School, California. The Brewers have arguably the worst farm system in the league, so they have to nail this draft. Soderstrom is the best prep catcher in this class and is one of the best overall bats in the prep class, showing massive raw power and loud contact from a smooth left-handed swing. 21, St. Louis Cardinals. Pete Crow Armstrong, outfielder, Harvard Westlake High School in California. This would be the typical Cardinals type of pick, as they're thrilled as he's still here at 21. Armstrong is a prototypical top-of-the-lineup hitter with the defensive abilities to stick in center field. 22, Washington Nationals. Cole Wilcox, righty, Georgia. Wilcox is one of the more underrated arms in this class, and the Nats would gladly take him here. Wilcox leans on 2 pitches in his fastball and slider, but is only a sophomore that doesn't have much starting experience. 23, Cleveland Indians. Tanner Burns, righty, Auburn. Here goes another college arm off the board as the Indians snag one here with Burns. He has 3 above-average pitches with his fastball, curveball, and changeup, and he throws them with solid command. 24, Tampa Bay Rays. Austin Wells, catcher, outfielder, Arizona. The Rays farm system, as we know, is absolutely loaded and really don't have a need that stands out. Here I have them rolling with Wells, who shows good qualities as a backstop with a big arm and great leadership, but he struggles with breaking balls and doesn't move particularly well. 25, Atlanta Braves. Chris McMahon, righty, Miami. The Braves are another team that's in good shape in terms of its farm system. Here I have them taking the polished righty in McMahon, who flashes an exciting 3-pitch mix that all possesses above average or better qualities. 26, Oakland Athletics. Dylan Cruz, outfielder, Lake Mary High School, Florida. Cruz is another one of these intriguing high school prospects that have upside. He has lightning-quick hands that allow him to show plus raw power from the right side of the plate. 27, Minnesota Twins. Carmen Lonzinski, righty, South Carolina. The Twins have options, but they go with the fascinating pitching prospect here in Lonzinski, who looked amazing in the Cape Cod League, but spotty versus better competition. He has shown flashes with a good few pitches in college, but this is what makes him a wild card in this draft. 28, New York Yankees. Daniel Cabrera, outfielder, LSU. The Yankees are in an interesting spot since their farm system isn't what it was 3 to 4 years ago. Here they go with Cabrera, who doesn't blow you away in any facet of his game, but his hit tool could reach plus at peak, and you can't find anything within the profile that grades worse than average. And 29, Los Angeles Dodgers. Jordan Westburg, third baseman, shortstop, Mississippi State. The Dodgers are in excellent shape farm system-wise, so they can go in any direction they'd like. Westburg is super versatile and possesses above-average power and speed with a decent shot to stick at shortstop defensively to boot. The Astros obviously don't have a first-round pick due to the cheating scandal, and in past mock drafts, I've done compensatory rounds, but I'm only going to do the first round this year for mock drafts. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to talk about tonight's episode of The Masked Singer. So we're down to our top 4. You have the Night Angel, you have the Frog, you have the Turtle, and you have the Rhino. Last week, the kitty went home, and it was a surprise to so many people that she went home, and it turned out to be Jackie Evancho, who used to be on America's Got Talent, and she was a finalist on that show, and obviously Nick Cannon used to host that show, and it surprised Nick Cannon that she was on the show, and it probably meant a lot to Nick because she was a huge star on America's Got Talent, and she kind of fallen off the face of the earth a little bit. And she really upped herself and was outstanding on The Masked Singer. My guess for her was Kristen Chenoweth, and the funny thing is that she takes the mask off, and I see blonde hair, and I thought for a hot second that I was correct, but it turns out to be Jackie Evancho. Nicole Scherzinger guest Vanessa Hudgens. The guest panelist last week, Jeff Dye, guest Mary-Kate or Ashley Olsen, which was terrible. Robin Thicke went with Ashley Tisdale. Ken went with Anna Kendrick. Jenny went with Leah Michelle. In terms of the contestants for tonight, we'll start with the Frog. Last week there were hints about a red car, hot dog buns. There was hay. He performed Bust a Move by Young MC. His doorstep item was a private jet. I still think it is Bow Wow. I think that this is the easiest one left of the four, and the one I feel the best about. Two new names came to mind in case it's somehow not Bow Wow, and that is Bob Sinclair and O'Neal Bryant. O'Neal Bryant is known as Elephant Man, who was in the song Wine Up with Kat DeLuna back in 2007. Jenny went with Anthony Mackie. Robin agrees with me. He went with Bow Wow. Ken Jeong went with Derek Hove. That'd be weird if it was Derek Ho. And Jeff Dye went with Anthony L. Ray, a.k.a. Sir Mix-a-Lot. That would be appropriate and weird if it was Anthony L. Ray, because obviously the most surprising singer in Masked Singer history, let alone Season 3, was Sarah Palin, who was under the bear mask, and she got unmasked about 2 months ago. It was the same night that the NBA suspended its season, and all hell broke loose. And Sarah obviously performed Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot, so that'd be weird if Anthony L. Ray was indeed the Frog. The Rhino, he talks about his wife, and then he talks about kids. I don't know if he has his own kids or has just watches kids or has nieces, nephews, or whatever. There was 15 miles per hour and $30. This is someone that has struggled. There were ballet shoes in the clue, which was weird. Maybe he has a kid that does ballet. He performed You've Lost That Loving Feeling by the Wrightus Brothers. Last week they had doorstep items, and his was a Navy hat, which said that it held meaning for him. And obviously, Frogs was a private jet, and that was obviously yet another Bow Wow clue. And I think this is Tim Tebow, but I don't feel good about it. I mean, it could be Gavin DeGraw or Trace Atkins, maybe. And obviously Jeff Dye guessed Trace Atkins. Nicole Scherzinger had a bad guess of Jason Aldean, and Ken Jeong had a guess of David James Elliott. The Night Angel, there's a hint about a piano. She talks about being a musical singer. There's a hint about Columbia. There's lipstick. There is a hint about how she was inspired by Donna Summer. And she talks about being from the South, and she performed Last Dance by Donna Summer, and she did it very well. Her personal item was a ski mask and boots. My guess was Kelly Rowland because of some hints, and there's a 2000 hint. There's a tricycle, which could prefer or lead to the trio she was in. Destiny's Child. She said Say My Name in the clue package. And there was a letter that said another Destiny's Child song as well. Someone else this could possibly be is Candy Burris, reality star singer. There's some qualities with the Night Angel that makes me remind myself of Candy Burris a little bit, but I'm going to stick with Kelly Rowland for now. Jeff Dye went with Alicia Keys. Ken went with T-Boz, and Nicole Scherzinger guessed Tiny, who is Tamika Cottle, which isn't a bad guess. I gotta give Nicole credit. Tamika Harris really Tamika Cottle is not a bad guess whatsoever. And then the singer that went last week was the turtle. There's a hint about a Jeep. 1999's Major, in terms of a hint. There's poker chips. There was a wedding dance statue. He performed Fix You by Coldplay, which is a beautiful song. And I think probably the most underrated song that Coldplay's done. His personal item was a zombie. I am sticking with my AJ McLean guess. It's just because of the vocals. And in 1999 is a big hint because what band was very, very popular in 1999? The Backstreet Boys. So, that's obviously a major hint towards someone that was popular in the late 90s. Jeff Dye went with Norman Reedus because of the zombie clue. Ken Jeong went with AJ McLean too, and he also said Howie D of the Backstreet Boys, and he linked him to a possible zombie clue. Nicole suggested Max George and Jesse McCartney. Jesse McCartney's very interesting. He could very well be the turtle because all season long, especially in the Super 9 before this certain contestant got voted off, people were comparing Turtle with the astronaut. And my guess for the astronaut was Jesse McCartney. And the turtle, someone that Nicole guessed for him a few weeks ago, was country singer Hunter Hayes, who wound up being the turtle. So that would be kind of fitting if it was Jesse McCartney, because I guessed him for another character. Knowing my luck, it's probably Jesse McCartney, because I guessed him for a different character. And that's happened a couple times on the show. We saw that with the Penguin and the Black Widow in Season 2, and how many people thought that the Black Widow was Sherry Shepherd and the Penguin was Raven Simone, and wound up being the other way around. And then the thingamajig, a lot of people thought it was Wayne Brady early on. And then Fox came out and everyone's like, oh wait, no, that's Wayne Brady. So there's been a couple times, especially this season and last season, where you see two contestants that are getting similar guesses, and the contestants winds up being the opposite of the other one. So it could very well be Jesse McCartney. Joey McIntyre is a popular guess. A lot of people are suggesting Adam Lambert, who has a little bit of the Turtles quality, so I won't be like flabbergasted if it's Adam Lambert. So that's another one to keep an eye on too. All right, predictions for tonight. So obviously we have 2 episodes left. We have tonight the semifinals and next week's the finals. The contestants who I think will advance to the final: Frog, Turtle, and Night Angel. So I think the Rhino's going home tonight, finally. And this is the one that's the toughest for me right now. That and Night Angel. I think are the 2 hardest ones to figure out. And I thought I had Turtle with Tim Tebow, but I'm confused and maybe he's throwing us all off. I'm sticking with my gun and sticking with the guess that I've had almost the entire season, and that is, obviously, former Florida Gators, Denver Broncos, New York Jets, and New England Patriots quarterback and current Mets minor leaguer Tim Tebow. So that's it for the show today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping tonight's episode of The Masked Singer, previewing tomorrow night's episodes of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Celebrity Watch Party. I'll have my 2014 NBA redraft and my 2016 top 10 artists, and any other news related to the coronavirus in the world of sports and in pop culture, as well as any other random sports news that comes along as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.